the boy, the boy. I think we're on. So apparently, Boogeyman 2988 has gotten to a bit of a controversy when it comes to gaming because, and I'm paraphrasing it. He's like, he doesn't like how the white men are portrayed as evil characters in video games, and then people come after him and was like, oh, but what do you mean? Like, but can you point me to a single instance where a white man stands up and is portrayed talking about, building the wall, or that, people say that in the games that, oh, white men are bad and white man this and that and the other. And see, they do this interesting tactic where they go after the words being said instead of the spirit of what people mean, because clearly you're not going to find situations where like the game out like people in like the media or the video game outwardly says white man bad, but you'll find many instances where the white character are portrayed as pretty much caricatures, but they're the safe caricatures of racists. Like, you will have a racist, but not once will he ever say a slur, or like not once will he ever, like, I don't know, misgender a trans character. Like, you'll find those cases, and you'll simply find cases in amongst media companies saying that they flat out will not hire white men. Like, they flat out say this, right? Because you have people that of the ideology that everything white man does is bad, therefore everything against that isn't white man is good. Like, these types of people will clap their hands and they'll be like, "Oh yes, yes, you said the correct things," and it's 100% a grift, right? It's like these people, they want to spread their hate, their vitriol, and their vile into the media that they're over. And again, it's this not really the CEOs, they just want to make money. It's the people that are hired, right, through the HR lady. The people that, again, don't play video games. They don't take they don't partake into gaming, but they do know ideology, right? It's like they're angry that they weren't a CNN journalist, but they get hired in the games and they hate that games are popular, but all they know is ideology. So they use it as sort of a lightning rod or sort of a conduit to spread their hate and vitriol. And when you think of it this way, it's like, yeah, Boogie kind of has a point. Like, there are people in these industries that use social justice ideology to uplift themselves, right? They don't care about, say in video games, they don't care about the video game, they don't care about the IP, they don't care about the consumer, they don't care about the company. Like, they hate all of it, but they want to suck the money. They want to make money from it, and they want to be controversial. And so they said they try as being edgy, but see, it's not the type of edgy that I grew up with, like in South Park, right? Where they're throwing slurs left and right. It's not the Tosh.0. It's not what you see on Comedy Central or Adult Swim, right? It's the type of edgy where, oh, well, what is socially acceptable? Well, it's socially acceptable to shit on white men. Okay, well, white man evil, white man bad, but we can't say this, so how do we portray this in games? Or how do, say, Sweet Baby portray this in games where white man bad, white man evil, man bad? Like, they put it in the games, and you have situations in, say, Suicide Squad, where all the characters that you grew up with, all the heroes you grew up with, like Batman, like the Flash, they get unceremonious deaths, and you just gloss over them. But the one character that gets any reasonable death scene is Wonder Woman, and it begs the question: it's like, so why does the Squad care about Wonder Woman over the rest of these heroes because they all vilified them, right? Again, the point of the Suicide Squad is they are villains and they are unliked. But for some reason they care when Wonder Woman dies. It's like that's odd. That's very, very odd. And again, these individuals, again, who use ideology to uplift themselves, and they use what is acceptable to be toxic against. So against gamers, against men, against white people. Like, they use these things to spread their... And they genuinely believe that, like, they're doing a good thing. Like, they believe in their heart of hearts, in their soul, that they're doing the right thing. Like, even if it's a grift, right? Like, people can, after a couple of years, will convince themselves that, yes, I am actually doing... Because people always justify what the fuck they do. Even criminals. Like, they will justify it to themselves that what they did is just... They'll blame society, they'll blame you, they'll blame anyone else but themselves. And this is what Boogie is talking against. These are the types of people, these are the types of tropes. Because it is a trope, right? These are the tropes that, say, Sweet Baby, in, like, the company like Sweet Baby and other, like, consultant, quote-unquote, companies inject into video games. And they act surprised that, oh, there's a Steam curator group on Steam that shows the type of games that Sweet Baby worked on. They're all overwhelmingly negative, right? The people overwhelmingly dislike these games, are not recommended. And Sweet Baby tries to get the person who created the Steam curator forum, like, get his entire Steam library shut down. And to my knowledge, it's just a single Brazilian guy. And again, at first the Steam curator group had like, what, 1,000 people? Now it has 200,000 people. So they tried to get this guy canceled, right? And again, it just blew up. Like, people subscribe to this just out of principle. Now, is this a second Gamergate? I don't know. I mean, gamers are not known for making like, they are willing to put up with a lot of shit from companies because at the end of the day, it's a hobby. I mean, if you don't like a video game or a specific company, you just do not buy games from them. And again, there's also the normies, like, so the people who buy, like, FIFA, even though it's literally the exact same game, or even less of a game before, because they take out things that were in previous FIFA games and they sell it back to you later, right? So most of them are, like, again, normies, dads, people who just want to shut their brains the fuck off. And again, they're willing to take a lot until you go out of your way to fuck with them, which is what Gamergate was. It was the industry, or at least the news outlets that claim to represent the industry, going out of their way to fuck with the consumer, to fuck with the market. And it is the one situation where it didn't matter what your political affiliation was. Like, you came together just to shit on the industry, to shit on publications, because it's not about Zoe Quinn and her fucking cheating on her boyfriend and her saying, oh, if you cheat on your spouse, it's rape because they wouldn't have consented either way, and her boyfriend's like, well, then that means you cheated on me 7 times, and again, with people who actively promoted your video game. Like, having a fucking sex life, whatever. Like, what are we, 12? But it's the conflict of interest. It's the fact that the exact same people that she had relationships with, right? The exact same news outlets, then fell into lockstep and started going after gamers, going after the market, going after the consumers, right? And then people are like, all right, now we're going to go out of our way to fuck with you, right? Because, like, you can get away with a lot of shit until you mess with the one person who's willing to fuck with you, who just wants to fuck with you. And again, we're seeing this with X and Elon Musk. It's like, you know, you have journalistic outlets going after everybody. Like, they genuinely believe they are the monolith of morality, and you need to aspire to them and listen to. And it's literally like a religion, right? The religion of social justice, where you need to cross yourself and be like, inclusivity, inclusivity, diversity, inclusivity, inclusivity, diversity, right? It is literally that until you met fuck with the one person that's like, you know what? Now I'm going to go out my way to fuck with you. How about that? And I have money and I have influence and I literally buy Twitter. So and again, these news outlets shit about Twitter and about Elon Musk on Twitter. It's like, well, again, if it was when I grew up, like when I was like a fucking 15-year-old goofball, those many of like image boards and like sites where you just post things, and again, your anonymity was your shield against like scammers and all that. But nowadays, people gladly give away their information. Again, there was just so many sites that are up, but then came the online safety bills and all that. Now you have what? Just a couple of sites that are allowed to exist, right? And again, back to what I was originally saying, like like the people who wants to spread their vitriol, their daddy issues to everyone else, use these sites to put people down, and they use these sites to connect with like Sweet Baby and these consultation firms to have these things put into games. And this is exactly what Boogie is talking about. But they go after the words. They're like, but what do you mean? But what do you mean? It's like, nah, I think you know exactly what he means. You're just being disingenuous. So, and, I mean, there are other controversies Boogie's been into. I don't care about those. They're whatever. But I just say, when he talks about this, right, he's calling out a trope. And even if they don't flat out say this, I think the trope exists, right? So, that's all I gotta say about this situation. See ya.